Let's talk about something we've all wondered about. Is our life already written out for us, or do we actually hold the pen? Today, we're jumping right into that classic debate, fate versus action. You've heard this a million times, right? Maybe you've even said it yourself after a tough day. My fate is just bad. It's that go-to phrase when things go wrong, a way of saying, hey, it's out of my hands. But is it really out of our hands? That's the big question we're tackling here. Can fate actually be changed? Is there a way to break free from a path that feels like it's already been set for you? Well, let's see what the source material has to say. Okay, so first up, we need to talk about what the source calls the trap of fate. Here's the core argument, right here. The idea is that our destiny, our future, it's not written in the stars or in the lines on our palms. Nope, it's something that gets forged piece by piece with every single thing we choose to do. I love this metaphor because it's so vivid. The source asks, what do people who just sit around and wait for fate get? The answer? Only a rattle. You know, a rattle makes a bit of noise, it's a distraction, but it's hollow. It has zero real value. It's basically an empty prize for doing nothing. And that way of thinking leads us to our next point, which is all about a flawed perspective that many of us, as a society, seem to share. See, there's this deep-seated bias in how we explain things. When something happens, we tend to assign credit or blame, and more often than not, we fall back on this really simple and maybe a little lazy idea of luck. This breaks it down perfectly. When someone fails or loses, we say, bad luck, their fate was bad. But when they win, wow, they got lucky, their fate was good. You see what's missing, right? There's no talk of the effort, the sleepless nights, the strategy, the hard work. This perspective just wipes personal responsibility right off the map. The source doesn't pull any punches here. It says that blaming things on bad luck or thinking some people just have it easy because of good luck is like giving yourself a lollipop of excuses. Sure, it's a sweet little comfort in the moment, but that's all it is, an excuse that stops you from taking real action. Okay, so if blaming fate is the trap, how do we get out? This next section is the game plan. It's about flipping our mindset from passive to active, and it's called Stop Asking. Now, this is really the turning point. For anyone out there who feels stuck, like life is just happening to them, the source gives us one simple but incredibly powerful piece of advice. And here it is. Stop asking for the thing you can earn. Just let that sink in. This is all about taking back your power. It's the huge difference between wishing for a promotion and working for it, between hoping for a lucky break and going out there to create one for yourself. This is a direct challenge to that little voice in our head, isn't it? Instead of immediately going to, oh God, my fate is just bad, the goal is to rise above that and remember that you have the power to create, to build, and to earn. And that brings us to our final section, which I think is the most inspiring part of this whole idea. Build your own journey. This is such a critical difference. We aren't just explorers with a map, trying to find some path that's already there. No, we are the architects. We're the construction crew. We are laying down the road of our own life, one brick at a time. So what are the building materials for this road? The source says there are two main ingredients. First, your hard work. That's the muscle, the effort you put in every day. But the second one is just as crucial, your struggles. Your challenges aren't potholes, they're the very things that make you stronger, the foundation that builds your character. So in the end, it all comes down to this one powerful statement. We make our own journey. That's not just a feel-good quote. That is a declaration of complete ownership over your life. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. It's a choice, really, that each of us makes every single day. Are you going to let yourself be defined by your circumstances, by some idea of fate? Or are you going to pick up your tools, your hard work, and your struggles and start building? The choice, as they say, is yours.